Hello, I just read the book by Haruki Murakami, Novelist as a Vocation. I bought this book in the library. I went to the local library, and I think I'm the first reader of this particular book because I didn't see any, you know, markers or anything here, and paper is very fresh, so I think so. But anyway, this particular book is published in 2015 in Japan, but I think in 2022 the translation came out. So very recent book, and as I would say, you Haruki Murakami's fan. This is not a fiction, so this is more like essays, right? And so you don't think that this is, the book that you want to read, but this is as fun as the fictions, and I think it's very readable and very inspiring, very deep, and very personal in a sense. And I think this is a must-read book for Murakami fan. I really think so because I read very very quickly, and I couldn't stop when I first when I decided to read this. I just cannot stop. I stop for the eating and so forth, but otherwise I have to read through. And so I'm glad I found this book. And this is kind of a total 11 chapters, I think. And Novelist, Broad-Minded, first one, when I became a novelist, second one, on literary prize, and on originality. So what should I write about? Making time your ally, on writing a novel, and completely personal and the physical occupation, regarding school, and what kind of characters should I include, who do I write for, going abroad, a new frontier. And that's 11 total chapters. And all of the chapters are very intriguing and fun. I could read it as a short story. Each chapter is a short stories, and also very deep in the thoughts and how he writes. It's very moving, and especially the when he got the inspiration, or when he got the first decision that he made to become a writer, when he was watching the baseball game. And when I read that again, I think I knew that particular story before, but I read it again here, and it's very moving. Like a trivial thing that you went to the baseball game, and all of a sudden, for some other reason, some reasons he doesn't know, but he decided to become a writer. So that was when I read that. I think it's how he writes about that. It's moving. And the literary prize, I think he talks about the Octagon Prize that he lost when he first fiction and the second fiction was kind of shortlisted for the Octagon Prize, but he lost it. But he had a Gunzo Prize, which is a newcomers prize on the particular year, and that started his career there. So he talks about that, and all these things that when you read, if you read all the his fiction, for example, he talks about those fiction, the Kafka on the Shore, Norwegian Word, 1Q84, and Pinball 73, 75. hear the wind sing, and tataki tsukuru's colorless trip or whatever. And so he talks about all these things. It's very, very interesting to see his attitude toward the fiction and his intentions and his motivation, all these things there. And also he talks about his personal life, like about hating the Japanese education system, especially the school, attending school. He was very bored. He rather go home and read books. He loves to read books when he was younger. When he was a boy, schoolboy, he rather read the books. And he read most of the time, I would say, the international writers, American especially, like Hemingway, Scott Fitzgerald, and sometimes he talks about all the I think the short story Raymond Carver and Alice Munro and all these people, and also he talks about what kind of a character should I include, and so all these things, it's all his ideas of the fiction, and he talks about his individual like a fiction as example, and so that as a reader to read this, very interesting to see his inspirations or why he has to write this particular book or something like that. And the last chapter is Going Abroad, A New Frontier. This one is kind of interesting. I think when he was writing in Japan, he was rather a little bit kind of tired because of the Japanese literary environment was kind of a, I would say, very kind of stressful or something, very critical to the writers or something. He has been criticized, not being Japanese writers that much, and but he decided to live in Europe and America for a while just to write, and he thought that was like a success because he could write freely from the kind of a society that doesn't allow him to become free. So, and he talks about also New York Times, New Yorker magazine. I'm sorry. I read Haruki Murakami's short stories on and off in the New Yorker magazines. I talked about it in this my blog also, but many short stories are taken the short stories section in New Yorker magazine, and the New Yorker magazine is very prestigious, and if you are taken as a favorite by magazine, you are lucky. I think he acknowledged that. He thought New Yorker magazine liked his writing, and he really appreciated that some of the editors there loved his work. So it's overall, all through, my impression is this book is that very intimate, and I think if you like his fiction, his writing, and you are glad that you get to know him better here more because exactly what I want to know about him is he talks about it here, and his process or how he writes, and he was very kind of a delinquent student when he was a student in high school or whatever, and also he was also antisocial pretty much because he you know he 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 loved the freedom to be alone, I would say. And but anyway, so very good read, very fun to read. Once I started to read, I couldn't stop it because it's so much fun to read it. So I think for if you are a Haruki Murakami fan, I think I strongly recommend this particular book. It's a new book in the U.S. and yeah, I think it's enjoyable as his fiction, other fictions. I think you, especially when you read all the other fictions, you have to read this still. This is not a fiction, but it's very enjoyable writing, and I think you will enjoy it. So yeah, that's my few cents today. Okay.